Hi, I'm Spyn, and today I want to talk to you about anger management. We all deal with anger from time to time. It's very common and a natural thing. No matter how calm the person, everyone will eventually experience some form of anger, even if it's just for a moment. There are ways that don't involve punching the source of said anger in the face, no matter how good that would feel.
This can lead to some complications, like jail, or if the source of your unforgiving rage is an inanimate object, like a wall, then the hospital.
There are better ways of going about it. So here are a few ways that just might help you understand and deal with your anger. Definitely how I dealt with mine. Sort of. Work in progress. The first thing we should do is try to identify what makes us angry, which on the surface sounds pretty easy. But the reason for us getting angry could be rather deeper than just some ass that cut in line or some self-righteous Karen that yelled at you.
No, it's definitely Karen. I hate Karens. Those self-centered, entitled pieces of shit.
It could be that that person was just the proverbial straw that broke the camel's back. So it's always important to take a moment and see if that's really what has you so worked up, or if maybe there might be something deeper.
Like, for example, I'm not really mad at the lady that took my parking spot. Not really. Even though she knew that I was turning into that goddamn... I'm not mad at her. I'm mad at the passive-aggressive way I was treated at a fast food restaurant, and I just merely not let it go.
More often than not, it's not the thing at the moment that probably has you so angry, but something that probably happened earlier, maybe that day, that has you so upset, and you haven't been able to let it go yet.
Let's say the drive-thru was, I don't know, a Wendy's. Let's just say that's what it was. And I was trying to get this lady's attention for like 3 minutes, and not once did she acknowledge my presence at all. At all. She didn't look in my direction. She didn't tell me, like, just a moment, nothing. Not a thing. Just kept staring at her screen. When she finally did look in my direction and opened the window, she said in a passive-aggressive tone, "I saw you, sweetie, but I was taking another order." Like, yes, of course you were. And then she gave me the stuff I asked for, and then she closed the door with a "have a nice day," that same "have a nice day" that's reserved when really what you mean is go fuck yourself. Well, if you saw me, why didn't you turn and just go one moment? Why couldn't you do that? You didn't do that. No, of course not. You know why? Because you're angry at your life. And now you've made me angry at everyone else's life and your life at the same time. Because you're miserable, that infected me like a goddamn virus. And then, for the rest of the day, I was upset, or at least for the 30 minutes or an hour, however long it was, I was angry. And I couldn't let it go. And that's the root of all the problems, is I couldn't let that shit go and it burrowed into my mind.
This is a very important step in dealing with your anger, because if you don't know where it's really coming from, then it's going to be rather difficult, if not impossible, to find a way to deal with it. Now that hopefully we have identified what's making us so angry, we can work on trying to fix the problem. One way is to try to remove what makes us angry, if possible. If people are upsetting you on a social media platform, for an example, and you find yourself becoming irrationally angry at the individual or individuals more often than not, then maybe it's time for you to take a break from social media for a bit.
Or you may just need to revisit the first part of the video. You know, the part where we talked about getting to the root of the problem? You go do that, and I'll be here when you get back. Okay?
Another option is trying to remove toxic people from your life.
Now, this is very important, so I want you to pay close attention and I want you to listen to me. There is a big difference between removing someone who is actually toxic and is truly negatively affecting your life and making it worse. Then there is removing someone and calling them toxic to everyone you possibly can and trying to get them ostracized and shunned from a community purely because they disagree with you and you would like to live in an echo chamber filled with sycophants and toadies. But no one would do that. Right, guys? Right?
This is something of a last resort to a given issue, but sometimes you have to remove people entirely. If a group of people or an entire community just continues to make you angry, and that anger is affecting other people, which more often than not, it definitely does, then you may need to step away from that group, that community, or that person for a little while. If you've done everything possible that is within your power to try to fix what makes you angry, and it doesn't seem like you can reasonably do anything about it, then it may be time to just forget about it and just put it away, because there's nothing you can do about it. This is extremely hard, but if you can master this mindset, you are going to be much happier as a person. This leads us nicely into our next option, Zen and the art of not giving a f***. Some people are just not worth it. Is it really worth the effort to give these people your attention and to let them occupy your mind and possibly ruin the rest of your day? In short, if they're not paying rent, they don't get to live in your mind. You shouldn't let them. On the surface, this seems like a pretty self-evident idea, but it's a difficult one to master, as we tend to hold on to grudges towards people that have slighted us, whether that's a real slight or one that's just perceived. One thing that can help you get to this mentality is ask yourself, how much do they really matter to you? This effectively helps put things into perspective.
Much like your openly racist aunt at Thanksgiving, they, much like their opinions, do not matter.
Another thing that will hopefully get you into the proper mindset when dealing with anger in this way is to think about the person or thing that is making you so upset, and then asking yourself, would you be willing to give over control of your actions to that person or thing? If the answer is no, then you should be able to easily understand why allowing the source of your anger to influence how you act and how you think is rather silly. Once you are there, it should be relatively easy to start letting it go. All of that said, sometimes, and I mean only sometimes, it is okay to be angry. Now there's a reason for that, because in these cases, which are admittedly rather rare, or at least they should be rather rare, your anger can be justified. It is important to be able to recognize this righteous anger from something that is relatively petty, and this can be immensely difficult, even at the best of times. A good example of this is when you see someone that's bullying someone else, or someone is picking on someone weaker than they are, or just hurting someone that's innocent. Then in those cases, your anger is warranted and justified. Obviously, I can't tell you exactly when your anger is justified. That's just something that you're going to have to figure out for yourself. But most people are more than capable purely by using their moral compass. And as always, it is very important that you think before you speak or act. Understand that your words and your actions have consequences. But also, remember that your silence and your inaction also has consequences. Well, that's all I have to say about that for right now. And remember, your anger can affect other people, not just yourself. So that's why it's so important to understand where your anger comes from and to be able to deal with it appropriately. It's also important to have a proper mindset when it comes to things that make you angry, which will in turn allow you to let things go, at least a lot easier. It is equally important to remember the rare occasions when something should not be let go or overlooked, on those rare occasions when your anger is righteous. Anyway guys, thank you so much for watching the video. If you stayed this far, remember to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell. If you like what I did, or you had a question, comment, concern, worry, or maybe you just have an idea for a video, put it in the comment down below. If you don't want to do it there, the link to all of my social media, including my Discord, is down below in the description. So come join our Discord. I have a suggestions channel for that. If you want to DM me personally, you definitely can. My DMs are always open for you guys. And as always, guys, I have some words for you to think about. You are the first victim of your own anger. Bye!